In a super heterodyne receiver, the difference frequency is chosen as the IF rather than the sum of frequency because lower frequencies are easier to amplify. In a TRF radio receiver, the RF and detection stages are tuned to radio frequency. In the above question, what is the power in sideband 0.06 kW? In transmission, sound signal is frequency modulated. The reward detector in an AM radio receiver is usually found after several stages of amplification. In the above question, what is the power in sideband 6 kW? Modulation refers to a low frequency signal controlling the may be any of the above. The major advantage of FM over AM is reception is less noisy. Super heterodyne is principle refers to obtaining lower fixed intermediate frequency. The super heterodyne principle provides selectivity at IF stage. Most of the amplification in a super heterodyne receiver occurs at IF stage. If a radio receiver amplifies all the signal frequency equally where it is said to have high fidelity. The letter AVC stands for automatic volume control. Voltage dependent resistors are usually made from silicon carbide. In super heterodyne receiver, the input at mixture stage is RF and local oscillator signal. When the modulating signal controls the frequency of the current, we get frequency modulation. The IF is 455 kHz. If the radio receiver is tuned to 855 kHz, the local oscillator frequency is 1310 kHz. The function of ferret antenna is to increase the Q of tuned circuit. Its 100 volt carrier is made to vary between 160 volt and 40 volt by the signal. What is the modulation factor? 6. If A minimum is equal to 40 and A maximum is equal to 60, what is the percentage of modulation? 20%. In a radio receiver, we generally use Hartley oscillator as a local oscillator. A 50 kilowatt carrier is to be amplitude modulated to a level of 85%. What is the carrier power after modulation? 50 kilowatt. As the modulation level is increased, the carrier power remains the same. A high Q tuned circuit will permit an amplifier to have high selectivity. Man-made noise or amplitude variations. If a level of modulation is increased, sideband power is increased. Demodulation is done in radio receiver. In a radio transmission, the medium of transmission is space. In TV transmission, picture signal is amplitude modulated. In a radio receiver, noise is generally developed at RF stage. The RF signal voltage induced in the area of a radio receiver is of the order of microvolt. The signal voltage induced in the area of a radio receiver is of the order of microvolt. In a transmitter, crystal oscillator is used. In an amplitude modulation wave, useful power is carried by sidebands. In an amplitude modulation wave, the majority of the power is in carrier. If the modulation is so percent, then signal amplitude is equal to area amplitude. In amplitude modulation, the amplitude of carrier is varied according to the strength of the signal. In Pakistan, amplitude modulation is used for radio transmission. Modulation is done in transmitter. In amplitude modulation, bandwidth is twice the audio signal frequency. It's so percent modulation, the power in each sideband is 20% of the that of carrier. Or modulation amplitude occurs when signal amplitude is greater than carrier amplitude. Or modulation results in distortion.